Hello and welcome to the next Explore Report. This one, we're going to be focusing on a state park in Philadelphia. We went to this park last year because I was messing around on Google Earth and I seen foundation, interesting foundation, and I just had to go check it out. So we went, and surprisingly we found some nice ruins. And then I had realized that it was some sort of water treatment facility. Since then I have confirmed that it was a water treatment facility. The only thing was that it was actually connected to Byberry Mental Hospital. A lot of people think that all remnants of Byberry State Hospital is completely gone, and I'll get more into Byberry in a minute. But no, these remnants still remain today, and they're located in the park that's across the street, across Roosevelt Boulevard, from where Byberry used to be located. Now, Byberry, back in the late 90s, early 2000s, was a huge urbex hotspot. It had the wheelchairs were still lifted side, patient stretchers. It had a morgue, but thankfully, there were no bodies left in the morgue. Yeah, so some people also state that it also had tunnels. I haven't found any concrete information in regards to it having tunnels. So a little bit about the history of the property itself. The property was originally owned by Thomas Townsend in the late 1700s. Actually, the Townsend family owned other property in the area too. If you know the Prison Farm ruins, to which I visited twice, I think I revisited it last year. The Prison Farm ruins are also the ruins I did the PBS special for. It's also in the same area. That property was owned by Evan Townsend, so the Townsend family owned a bit of property in that area. The Prison Farm ruins can be found hiking along the creek. So the park is kind of weird. So you have the park itself, and then it kind of narrows at the top, and it goes to the Perquessing Creek Trail. And if you follow that, you'll be led to the Prison Farm ruins. So, yeah. But there's one thing about this park that not a lot of people know, and actually I'm trying to get a lot of attention focused to it, only because well, there's a cemetery in Benjamin Rush. Actually, it kind of borders. There's some confusion on who truly owns the plot. But anyway, there's a cemetery, and it appears to be a part of the park. It's a small cemetery, but there's people buried there. And this portion of the park was actually a dumping grounds at one time. So who's buried there? Well, freed slaves, people of color. These were people who probably didn't have a lot of money, and they were buried in a small plot. There's no headstones, no grave markers, no nothing. Bob and I went there last year to try to find this cemetery, because one of the articles I read, a person who explored there 40 years ago said that there was a headstone. We didn't find any, but we had a general idea where this cemetery was, so we were really close to the area. So I did reach out to 2 news media sites, and I'm hoping they get back to me, because not only is this area, it looked like it's still being used for trash, A lot of people just go back there and just dump their trash. But there's ATVs in the area that drive over these plots. It doesn't sit well with me. It really doesn't. I mean, these people died, they were buried, and they deserve dignity. I'm hoping to get some attention to this area. They said that there was a fence around it. Now, keep in mind that this cemetery is over 200 years old. At one point, there was a fence around it, but that fence disintegrated over 100 years ago. Everything I've read online, it's not there anymore. The one article I read said that there was headstones. So I'm wondering if those headstones are buried beneath the garbage rubble. Again, when Bob and I went there, I had a feeling like this spot I was staring at might have been it, but I didn't think it would be that open, that people just walk over. So one of the things I did find was one of the people that are buried there, his name was Jem, Jem. I couldn't find a last name. So there's really not a lot of information on how many people are buried there and who's buried there. But I know that modern day technology, we can go there with some sort of ground scanning machine and determine how many bodies are beneath that area. So I'm actually going to read some history here for a little bit. This portion of property was eventually sold in 1780, and 2 years later the property was sold to a church trustee. Edward Comley purchased the property in 1906, which was the same time Byberry Mental Hospital was built. The property was used. The park property itself was actually used for Byberry patients to go outside and get some fresh air. Eventually, Byberry Mental Hospital sold that piece of the property off. But thank you all so much for watching this. I'm hoping to gain a couple more voices in regards to the cemetery plot that is not only not really known, but is a dumping area, and ATVs ride over it. So I'll be working on that project for a bit. So thank you. Take care. Bye.